Welcome back, my fellow librarians, to another chapter of our Stardew Valley journey. We're diving into days 31 to 40, and the summer season is in full swing. With the farm thriving and the community center coming together, it's time to focus on big upgrades, deeper friendships, and uncovering even more of the valley's secrets. These 10 days are packed with progress. We'll tackle new goals, explore untouched areas, and maybe even stumble upon a surprise or two. From farming to mining to building bonds with the townsfolk, there is always something exciting around the corner in Stardew Valley. So grab your coffee or tea, settle in, and join me for days 31 to 40 of our modded Stardew Valley adventure. Day 31. The start of a new week brought plenty of productivity on the farm. I began the day with my usual farm chores, tending to the crops, checking on the animals to make sure everything was in good shape. Afterwards, I turned my attention to tidying up the farm. Clearing weeds, branches, and rocks not only made the place look better, but also freed up more space for future projects. With some extra time in the afternoon, I gathered items from the community center and made progress on completing a few bundles. It always feels great to contribute and move closer to unlocking the full potential of the valley. Later, I spent some time foraging around the valley collecting useful items along the way. A quick trip to Clint's was next on the agenda, where I had a batch of geodes cracked open. It's always exciting to see what treasures are hidden inside. I wrapped up the day with even more farm cleanup, ensuring the space is well prepared for future expansions and improvements. By the end of the day, I had earned 1,164 gold, capping off a productive and satisfying start of the week. Day 32. The day started with my usual routine of farm chores, tending to the crops, feeding the animals, and checking in on the farm's progress. Afterward, I spent some time cleaning up around the farm, clearing out debris and organizing the space for future projects. It's always satisfying to see the farm looking tidy and ready for growth. In the afternoon, I gathered some items and made a trip to the community center to make more donations. Every contribution feels like a step closer to restoring the valley, and it's exciting to see how the progress is adding up. As the day wound down, I stopped by the saloon for a chat with Shane. We had a good conversation, and I gifted him a beer, keeping our friendship moving in a positive direction. By the end of the day, I had earned around 1,843 gold. Day 33. The day started with my usual farm chores, tending to the crops and animals to ensure everything was running smoothly. With those tasks out of the way, I set out to explore the Cindersap forest for some foraging. The forest was full of useful items to collect, and it was also a peaceful way to spend the morning. I stopped by the traveling cart to see if there was anything worthwhile, but nothing caught my eye this time. Undeterred, I used the opportunity to tidy up parts of Cindersap forest, clearing out some of the overgrown areas, collecting even more forageable items as I worked. After a productive day of foraging and cleaning up, I returned to the farm to wrap up some final tasks. By the end of the day, I made around 1,331 gold, rounding out a steady but peaceful day in the valley. Day 34. The day began as usual with my farm chores, tending to the crops and animals to keep everything thriving. After finishing up on the farm, I decided to head to the train station and explore and see what I could do to spruce up the area a little bit. I spent some time cleaning up around the station, clearing debris, and making the space look a bit more inviting. On the way back through town, I stopped by Alex's ice cream stand and treated myself to a cool, refreshing ice cream. It was a sweet little break in the middle of a productive day. With a few items in hand, I made my way to the community center to contribute to the bundles. It's always rewarding to make progress towards restoring the valley's beloved hub. By the end of the day, I had earned around 706 gold, marking another steady day of progress and small joys in Stardew Valley. Day 35. A rare green rain fell over Stardew Valley today, casting a unique and calming glow across the farm. Took advantage of the weather to clean up the farm, clearing debris and making room for future plans. It's always satisfying to tidy up and keep things organized. Later in the day, I visited the traveling cart and picked up some valuable items for the community center. With those in hand, I made my way to the center, delivered them to the respective bundles, edging closer to completing more milestones. The saloon was a popular refuge from the rain, so I stopped by and chatted to everyone gathered there. It was also a great chance to catch up with some of the townsfolk and strengthen some bonds. I also made my way to Marnie's and had a quick conversation with Shane while I was there. Back on the farm, I planted some newly acquired red cabbage seed, a small but exciting step towards future harvests. With the day winding down, I reflected on the progress made and the connections strengthened under the soothing green rain. It was a productive and memorable day in the valley. Day 36 began with my usual routine, doing the farm chores, tending to the crops and animals before setting off on yet another adventure. With supplies packed and goals in mind, I headed to the mines to continue my descent. Partway through my mining trip, I had a brief but intense moment of panic when I couldn't find my salads. For a second, I thought I accidentally sold them, and my heart sank at the thought of losing my trustworthy emergency food supply. I literally sat here for like 10 minutes just trying to figure out where I put them. Thankfully, after some frantic searching, I found them tucked away safely in my inventory, because apparently I don't check my inventory in this game. With my confidence kinda restored, I pressed on and managed to reach level 65 in the mines. Along the way, I found some great loot, including a fishing hat, which was like a little fun little surprise. After wrapping up in the mines, I made my way to the community center to donate some of the items I collected, continuing to chip away at those bundles. Later in the evening, I visited the saloon and had a chat with Shane, keeping our friendship growing. The day ended on a high note as I leveled up in combat, marking another milestone in my skills, and made around 2,275 gold. It was a successful and eventful day in Stardew Valley. Day 37. Today was another productive day in the valley. Start off, as always, with my farm chores, making sure the crops were watered and the animals cared for. The steady rhythm of daily tasks always sets a good tone for the day ahead. With the morning chores done, I gathered some items and made a trip to the community center to continue working away at those bundles. Every little donation feels like a step closer to revitalizing this beloved part of the town. In the afternoon, I ventured out for some foraging, exploring the valley for anything useful or valuable. The summer season always brings a good variety of items to collect, and today was no exception. By the end of the day, I had earned approximately 2,732 gold, marking another fantastic day on the farm. Progress continues, and the future of the valley looks brighter with every effort. Day 38. The day started with a new recipe learned from the TV cooking channel. Apparently now I can cook baked fish. It's always exciting to add more dishes to my culinary repertoire, especially ones that come in handy for energy boosts during long days of work. Afterwards, I jumped into my morning farm chores, taking care of the crops and animals. With that done, I made a big improvement to the farm, commissioning Robin to build a barn, finally. It's a big step forward for expanding my animal husbandry plans, and I can't wait to welcome new animals to the farm. To prepare for the barn's arrival, I worked on expanding the animal pen, giving the current and future animals more room to roam comfortably. Once that was done, I spent my time decorating the farm, adding small touches to make it feel more organized and homey. By the end of the day, I had earned a solid 3,086 gold, closing out the day of full growth and creative progress on the farm. Day 39. Luau Day brought a festive vibe to Stardew Valley, but I started my morning with, the usual stuff. Farm chores, crops, animals, all that. Gotta keep the farm running smoothly. With everything in order, I headed to the beach to join in the big event. The luau was a great opportunity to catch up with everyone in town. I made sure to talk to all the villagers, enjoying lighthearted conversations and taking in the lively atmosphere. When it came time to contribute to the communal stew, I added a gold quality pepper, hoping to impress the governor. Unfortunately, the governor's verdict on the stew was that it was average. It was average. While it wasn't the glowing review I'd hoped for, it was still a fun experience to be part of the festivities and participate in this quirky Stardew tradition. After the luau wrapped up, I returned to the farm to wind down. It wasn't the most remarkable day in terms of achievements, but connecting with the townsfolk and enjoying the festival made it worthwhile. Day 40. You already know how this is going to start off. Did my farm chores, worked on the crops, and made sure my animals were taken care of. Once that was done, I headed over to the traveling cart to see what she had for sale. Unfortunately, she had nothing that caught my eye or that I really needed. Next, I visited Clint's to upgrade my pickaxe to copper. It was a big step forward towards making mining more efficient in the future. Afterwards, I dropped off a few more items at the community center, continuing to make progress on restoring the valley's heart. I spent the afternoon foraging, collecting useful items scattered around the valley, and took some time to clean up the bus station. Felt good to tidy up the area that doesn't get too much attention. In the evening, I went to the saloon and made sure to talk to everyone, catching up with the locals. Shane and I are getting closer, and I'm almost 8 hearts with him. It took long enough, but I'm almost there. It's exciting to see our relationship develop. By the end of the day, I had earned around 4,067 gold, capping off a productive and rewarding day of progress. And that wraps up days 31 through 40 in Stardew Valley. We've made some great progress, upgraded our pickaxe, made more donations to the community center, and even reached some new relationship milestones, especially with Shane. I also got to enjoy some festivals, do a little farm decorating, and kept improving my farm bit by bit. Thanks for joining me on another exciting stretch of this journey. It's always a pleasure to share my adventures with you, my fellow librarians. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next chapter of our Stardew Valley story.